Oke, selamat datang kembali di game Corpse Factory. Dimana kemarin kita baru aja ngeliat ada tokoh, ya tokoh di prolognya mati. Dan sekarang kita pindah perspektif jadi perspektifnya Kurosawa. Tapi aku nggak tahu Kurosawa yang mana. Aku lihat sih Kurosawanya rambutnya beda ya dari Kurosawa yang sebelumnya. Jadi yang ini tuh kayaknya satu keluarga, cuman ya beda beda itu beda orang kayaknya. Kayaknya, tapi aku nggak tahu juga sih. Kita lihat aja. Ah, I can be critical about other part of my body, but I never complain about my eyes. With or without makeup, I think they look great. Mother used to tell me I inherited her eyes, and my big sister inherited the father eyes too. Ada big sister, kayaknya big sisternya si rambut biru itu deh, kayaknya. To be honest, I don't see any of father figure in myself or my sister, but I do agree that my eyes are exactly a replica of my mother. Mother doesn't see too well anymore, and that might be something I have to also worry about in the future. But for now, my eyes are perfect, and I couldn't be happier with them. I wear eyeshadow and eyeliner to bring out my best feature. Some people tell me I use too much makeup, that I tend overdo it and make myself look intimidating. Well, I don't really care. I mostly like the way I look. And honestly, how many people can claim the same? Today morning ritual is the same as any other workday. I'm slept awake, and I'm not proud of it. Call me corporate sellout, but I can survive without money. My alarm goes off at 6. The shower is running by 6:05, and I'm dry and dressed by 6:15. I skip breakfast because I'm watching my figure and spend until 6:30 working on my makeup. Whoa! I'm at my cramped book apartment by 6:40 or 45. Sometimes I catch my neighbor return home from his overnight shift, and if so, I exchange simple pleasantry with him and continue on my way. Today, there is no sign of my neighbor, so I don't slow down as I descend the stair and exit the building. Head in the convenience store for a can of coffee, except another few minutes from each day. I prefer sweet milk coffee, but every now and then I'm in the mood for rich black coffee. Regardless, I never start the day without it. I don't always need the energy boost, but it helps me to stop my stomach growling. Bukannya kalau minum kopi itu malah ngebuat mah ya? It's milk coffee kind of day, so I buy my favorite brand and get out of the store in no time. The canned coffee dived into my handbag as I continue on my way. The train station is always busy in the morning, and it's usually a struggle to navigate my way to correct platform in time for the 12 train. The 12 a.m. train. Today is no different. However, I was making the time because my routine has been perfect over the last few months. I brought the train back up bound for Shinjuku. A cursory glance revealed there are no empty seats, so I pushed the trunk of the body and stand against the carriage wheel. Bentar, ini oh nyala. Aku suka khawatir gitu loh kalau mic aku nggak nyala tuh. Soalnya nggak kedetek kalau aku ngerekam pakai OBS. Jadi aku kalau misalnya game 3D aku bakal ngerekam pakai mirrorless. Kalau misalnya game-game ya 2D aku bakal ngerekam pakai OBS karena aku udah coba main game 3D Opus yang kemarin pakai OBS tuh di mirrorless lancar, dapat 20 sampai 30 fps, tapi kalau di OBS banyak banget framenya yang keskip, itu aja. Jadi mau nggak mau aku harus pakai pakai mirrorless gitu. Bukan mau nggak mau sih, emang cakep Mirilis untuk record, tapi untuk live streaming dan sebagainya nggak. Kenapa aku jadi promosi? Ya, skip. Whenever there are shit available, I like to sit and read, but it's much more common to have to stand and stare at my phone screen like almost everyone else. When I do read, I read the classic, Struck, Lovecraft, Poe. Horror, Western horror, at that is my favorite genre. And of course, faithful translation into Japan are as good as it gets. My English isn't nearly strong enough to read those novels in the original language. If I'm stuck staring at my phone screen, I like to stalk people online, acquaintances, or the few friends I have. Led such a boring life. They post about the most mundane topic all day, every day, acting like they are shrivel up and die unless they get attention they seek. I find their dull, tedious life simply fascinating. From behind the safety of glass veil, I can fulfill my voyeuristic fetish and consume as much pointless information as I desire. Ya, bukan kamu aja sih, aku juga kadang-kadang sering kayak gitu nge-stalk aja, cuma lihat-lihat. Ya, postingan-postingan orang yang sebenarnya nggak penting gitu. Knowing every moment that tidbit of people daily life turned me on. This morning it's the same as any other. I stared down at the phone held in my frail hand. My finger moved their own accord, scoring and tapping against the backlit display, pausing, wondering, punching on any post or picture that my pupil haven't yet conceived. Standing in the train carriage, packed to the gills with people, I can't help but feel my face getting flustered and my steamy breath escaping my lips. I dig a pause after photo after photo, memorizing the comments and going off every single person of my noise activity feeds. I catch my breath getting heavier, my gaps become short and sharp. Ray went to the dentist yesterday for a root canal. Mizel shared some photo from her international vacation. Kawahara object to owning pets and think all animals should be free. My cheek glowing crimson. My chest began rising and falling quickly. I clutched the collar of my shirt, knuckling whistling, knees shaking. A few people in carriers start to move away from me, but I barely notice them. Ini kayaknya dia cemburu cuma ngeliat status orang. Ya itu makanya jangan terlalu banyak ngeliat status orang sih. Aku aja mau nggak mau harus dibatasin gitu. Paling aku ngeliat pas lagi aku mau ngepost aja sih. Kayak apa? Mau ngepost ini update terbaru gitu, atau mau ngejadwalin update terbaru di sosial media, itu pasti aku bakal ngeliat-liat sekilas, tapi nggak lama. Udah ngerasa kesel langsung ya matiin lah, daripada makin lama makin jealous ngeliat orang ternyata nikmat ya hidup mereka ya, kok nyantai banget gitu hidupnya. Ya begitulah. Oke, skip lagi. Hanya pass from coworker of my office, Tomeo Watabane. She's a girl, that type with a heavy fake tan, bleached blonde hair, and questionable cloth. I hate her, but I love her post. This morning up the treat. Tomomo for 53 minutes ago. Just found this corpse girl website. Suck a fake bull, hahaha. Waiting to meet a bitch to try it out. Tomei just discovered corpse girl website, huh? I felt like sequel trying to escape from my throat as my leg threatened to back it underneath me. I can't take the access diamond anymore, and I have forced my pawn from my hand and bury it at the bottom of my handbag. Deep breath. Noriko. Deep breath. I need to calm down and control myself. Composure is key. I close my eyes and let a cool breath of air whistle through my slightly parched of lip. Feeling a little calmer and no longer ready to explode, I analyzed the information I just read. Tomeo want to try out Corpse Girl website. That's good. That's very, very good. Rumor has it that you can visit the website and request the death of somebody you know. How and if the victim dies isn't known to the public. Because of that, some people are pretty quick to dismiss the site as a hoax. However, the most interesting part isn't how or if the victim dies, but rather what happened to the victim before they die. Supposedly, the victim will receive a photo of their corpse or their own corpse. How this photo exists before the victim's life never out is in the public knowledge. But the talk of this phenomenon occurring is utterly integrating. Nevertheless, the site has been gaining popularity lately, at least in certain corners of the internet. Massive boards like Noise Channel and other similar sites have picked up and on the rumor and like to exaggerate on the website authenticity. The fact that someone like Tomoya or rather that's demo-witted individual has discovered the website means that it's actually more well known than I previously thought. It means that people are actually talking about it outside of the internet. Chances are good that Tomoya will want to try it out and request the death of someone of the office, a coworker. Me perhaps she had my gut as much as I had her. Finally, something exciting is going to happen in our to work.
The next station is Shinjuku. The doors on the right side will open. Please change here for the Chuo line, the Shonan Shinjuku line, the Saikyo line.
Sometimes the announcement read talk a list of connecting train lines. I get ready to disperse. The train pulls to stop, and I control my body around to other passengers in an attempt to exit the train. Kayaknya aku tahu apa yang kurang dari sini. Di visual novel ini sedikit banget sound effect-nya. Padahal kalau misalnya ada sound effect-nya itu jadi lebih menarik lagi sih kataku. Jadi lebih kerasa horornya gitu. Musik bagus, tapi plus sound effect itu lebih bagus gitu. Karena Nagung udah ada voice actor, kenapa udah ada dubbingnya, kenapa nggak ditambahin sound effect yang jelas gitu. Itu sih. Well, ya aku nggak bisa nyalahin itunya, tapi overall bagus. When I'm free of the little mass of flesh, I hasten my pace and navigate through the labyrinth station. I take the exit closet to my office and settle into a slower walk. I'm on time and I never decide to reach the office earlier than needed. Temujin. Apa itu? Oh, itu tulisan bahasa Jepang. Katakananya. It doesn't take long for a looming office tower out to enter my field of vision. 32 stories of office space are crammed into the one sleek, slim tower. The name Temujin is stamped across the structure in the gigantic block letter. If you are looking for this building in Shinjuku, you can possibly miss it. Temujin carried the title of Japan's third biggest banking corporation. Its gigantic company, with other branches in Kyoto, Osaka, Sapporo, Fukuoka, and dozens of smaller cities I don't even remember. I've worked here for class 3 months now. Not a long time in the grand scheme of things. That said, I'm only the temp and all I do is data entry. I work on the 14th floor along with about 60 other junior employees, including girl Tomei Watabane. I don't speak to many of my coworkers. That's the way I like it. Ini bang, beneran? Wow. Kayaknya aku nggak pernah ngeliat bank yang ada di Jakarta deh. Nih ya, kayaknya mirip kayak bank-bank yang ada di Jakarta. Soalnya kan di Bandung mah ya gitu-gitu aja. Aku pernah ke ya bank yang gedungnya lumayan gede pun ya kayaknya nggak kayak gini. Tempat resepsionis ya, cakep banget. Where is the building? I enter through a giant double sliding door and find myself in the familiar lobby. Comfortable couch line the walls circle a reception desk. For like elevator are tucked away in nook behind the receptionist desk. As I already visited this morning, thought to be fair, this place is packed all the time. I avoid the crowd of sharply dressed business people, feeling a little out of place in my semi-formal shirt and shirt. Looking into the newly opened elevator, I tap my employee ID card at the backlit panel and press the button for my floor. The door closed and the elevator begins its smooth ascent. I'm surprised to find that I'm the only one traveling up. I rest to my floor and listen to shooting chim, 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 chim as the door opened, revealing the open layout office before me. The static drone of our workspace noise filled my ear. Conversation ringing phones, finger tapping against keyboard, photocopiers, even the steed, low hum and of the air conditioner contribute to the overall din. I make my way to my desk, stationed in the middle of the floor and surrounded by the dozen other identical desks. As I walk, somebody tapped me on the shoulder.
Good morning, Kurosawa.
Good morning. Sia Fujikawa, my senior. Though he's really only a couple of months older than me. He's worked here for a whole year, after taking an internship straight out of the senior high school. He's not an intern anymore, though I'm not quite sure of his job title.
Morning, Fujikawa.
Wow, tidak seperti ekspektasi yang aku kira. Aku kira bakal kedengaran seperti apa lebih agak berat lagi, kedengaran kayak yandere. Soalnya mukanya kayak gitu loh. Mukanya kayak yandere
How was your
kayak
commute this morning?
Fine. Same as usual.
That's good to hear. Did you read any of your novels?
He's referring to a horror book I like to read. I can tell from his tone that he doesn't exactly approve of the subject matter. I'm a senior science junior high. We go way back, but I wouldn't exactly call us friends. However, he is the only one landed me this job, even though it's just a temporary contract. I've always had the feeling that he's a bit sweet on me. I could be way off the mark though. Ya kelihatan kok dia emang kayaknya suka sama kamu Kurosawa.
Well, I couldn't get a seat on the train today. Too hard to read while standing.
Nariko.
That's a shame. You still haven't accepted my friend request, did you know?
I have to fight the urge to roll my eyes. He's a nice guy, but we were connected on nice much before and I had to delete him. He's super obsessed with his father detective work and all he ever posts about is his assumption and theories on the petty crime case. Normally I find anyone on my friend list fascinating, but here's the thing. Shinya never posts about his personal life. All he writes us are long-winded run of boring cases. It's far beyond the amount of dullness even I can stand. I fish my phone out of my handbag and pretend that I'm looking at nice.
Oh, how about that? Looks like I don't have any incoming friend requests.
I quickly dip my phone back into my bag.
How peculiar. Well, I'll try and nudge again later.
Sure, no problem.
Well, anyway, I better get to it. Work hard today, okay?
Okay.
You got it.
She offers a formal bow and goes on his way. Before I can take a step towards my desk, a mocking voice whispers in my ear.
Ugh. How long are you gonna lead on sweet little Shinya?
This is Tomoe? What with that kiss? Is it okay on office? Really? Wow. I shiver and find Tommy Watabane lurking right behind me, buzzing around my neck like an irritating mosquito.
That
Sumpah.
poor boy really has the hots for ya. When are you gonna tell him you're a cold-hearted psycho?
Aku ngelihatnya pengen ditonjok sih. Entah kenapa aku nggak suka cewek-cewek yang model Tomoe kayak gini.
Listen, I'm not leading him on, and I'm no psycho.
Dari nadanya aja udah psycho Noriko.
Huh. Sounds like something a real psycho type would say, don't you reckon?
Yeah. Because this is none of that Galgal Tomoe. The very same brain that Amaran who posted this morning about wanting to try a classical website. She's the kind of person that like to stir up trouble and investigate conflict. She had her vacant eye on me since the day I first stepped foot in the office. She's loved to torment me and any chance she get. Maybe I rubbed her the wrong way somehow. Though I'm not sure what I ever did to her. Even though she's a data entry temp like me, she's worked here just like longer than I have. Unfortunately, that means I have to defer to her as my superior in the professional environment. She's now as much and like to take advantage of the fact as often as possible.
It's funny, you know. He don't look like the type of skank to lead on a goody-goody like Shinya.
I told you, I'm not leading him on.
Well, if you're not interested, maybe I'll take him out this weekend and tongue him at the cinema.
Gross. Do what you want, but I doubt he's into someone with your, looks.
Yeah, I'm agree, Noriko.
Oh yeah? What would you know? You think he likes your flat chest, little Miss Gothic Lolita?
Flat is justice. And I so struggle of comment as such as this, and normally I will. But backing down from the Tomoe isn't something I can do easily.
I'll give you a tip. Guys like Shinya are smart, clever. If you want to impress him, don't let him know your head is as full of air as your inflatable breasts.
Sarkasme yang bagus. Aduh. A flash of crimson light out of my face and she looked ready to lash out at me. A group of coworkers junior like us look over to us in concern. Tommy takes a step back from me, but not before the signal a rude gesture with her finger.
We ain't done here, Noriko. Watch
Yeah.
your back.
Yeah.
I'm trembling.
Tommy walked away and I breathed a sigh of relief. If it wasn't for having to deal with her, I would dread coming to work every day. Anyway, I will when she is planning to test out Kropsker website. Will she try it on me since we just fought? I'm not really sure if I should be excited or scared. Either way, it will definitely be fun to find out what happens if she does try the website. I finally reached my desk and take a note of this time. I was supposed to start working 5 minutes ago, so I quickly log into my computer and check today's task list. It's all standard stuff today. I need to transfer a few tables of the number for the spreadsheet into our company online database. When I'm done, I have to run it by few other people and then commit the change to the server. The work is dull and repetitive, but my salary isn't bad. On the plus side, I get to wear a headphone and listen to music while I work. Mana ada sih uh, pekerjaan yang gak membosankan dan tidak berulang-ulang. Semua pekerjaan berulang-ulang, makanya disebut kerja gitu. Karena dia pasti bakal berulang-ulang. I dip into my handbag and retrieve my headphone, my phone, a can of milk coffee, and a handful of bread mint. I laid them all out on my desk neatly. I slip my headphone on, plug them into my phone, and hit play on my work playlist. Loud symphony metal laughing harshly at my ear as I crack open the can of coffee and take a long sip.
Okay, let's get started.
Alright. I returned home to my quiet, cramped apartment after work. The class is eerie silence, a stark contrast to building office when I spend my day. Throwing my handbag onto the tiny coffee table, I pick up my laptop and sit on the couch. I lie back and get comfortable, letting the laptop rest on my stomach as it boots up. The welcome screen load up, so I click a couple times, open my web browser, and then head to very specific website saved in my favorite Cubs Girl website. A cute dancing zombie girl is animated at the top of the page. Hey, bentar, kenapa waktu itu di episode kemarin seingat aku bukan zombie. Kok sekarang jadi zombie ya? Frequently regular that always make me giggle. I noticed that page view counter at the bottom of the site is nearly the same as it was yesterday. There have been maybe 4 or 5 new visitors. I heave a sigh. Maybe the website isn't quite that well now after all. The question, how did Tommy discover it? Well, never mind. My eyes scanned the website content. Requested that big bold letter headline the site, the intention couldn't be clear. Further information on the site is spare. Brief instructions tell the user to fill in a victim phone number and upload a photo. Aside from that, there's not much else to mention. It doesn't even ask for a name. After scanning the site, I move my mouse to browser address bar and click. I tap forward slash after the website address, and then add the word admin. I hit the enter key. A login page presents itself, with empty username and password field waiting to be filled in. My finger tap dance around the keyboard, and within a moment I'm pressed with a brand new page. A blanket slap of text greet me, one new request. A crooked smile cracked my stony expression. Jadi dia pembunuhnya? Somebody has requested that. Somebody has asked me, a corpse girl, to kill a victim. This is where the thing gets exciting. I go out and fill my check of the thread. This is the first request I've had for about a week. I've been logging in every evening, finger crossed that somebody has elected a new victim for me. Today my wish has come true. I can't help but feel emotional at the time like this. My lower lips tremble and I feel tears welling up. I tap the corner of my eyes gently to avoid smudging my makeup, as I hope my mouse cursor over the view request button. A familiar and pleasant tingle senses the trigger in my chest, my stomach and my teeth. I shiver with anticipation, my hot and steamy breath beginning to fog up and laptop screen. I click the button. Request detail. Today, 2:47 p.m. local time. Victim blah 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 blah. Turning image attachment. The victim photo automatically loaded on my screen. The person in front of me is total stranger. But that is okay. It doesn't change the task set out before me. A woman rather plain in her early 30s. She will dress with minimal makeup and she's not really putting her personality on display. It's a nice photo, better quality than some of the images I've received in the past. Bentar, aku ganti itu ganti bukan ganti nada, ganti aksen, bukan ganti aksen juga. Ya itulah, ganti itu. In fact, the photo looked like a corporate ID feature. I wonder if it was downloaded from a company database or website. Well, the source of photo doesn't matter. The simple fact of the matter is somebody has made a request for this person to die. It falls to me to fulfill the request. And as the corpse girl, I take a request very, very seriously. I have the victim photo, and I have her phone number. All I need now is to select a way for her to meet her ultimately demise. I previously talked about including an extra field on my website, an option for the user to choose the way they want their victim to die. After all, it will reduce the amount of strain of my creativity if the method was designed for me. But after careful consider, I decided against it. Some people are sick, twisted. The cause of that could be far beyond my means and impossible to achieve. Therefore, allowing the user to define the cause of that just isn't feasible. Instead, I stick to my current modus operandi. Everything depends on my quality of the victim photo. If it's detailed, and the victim features are easily distinguishable, then I can be rather creative with the cause of that. Perhaps the victim face shall suffer gratuitous burn, or she has an iron stake through her skull. However, if the victim photo is low quality and doesn't provide enough detail to identify the subject, I have to resort to the default cause of that. A terrible, unlucky fall from a great height. Maybe she slipped, or maybe someone stumbled into her and sent her tumbling over a rail. The end result will be the same, a sweep, crossing death from a height. The victim will end up face down on the concrete, completely unrecognizable, save for her clothes and accessories. It's not my favorite cause of that, but in some cases it is unnecessary. Regardless, it is still a valid way to fulfill the request. For now, it's time to get started. I can barely contain my excitement. I screamed against the couch, crossing and uncrossing my legs in a vain attempt to dispel the heat rising through my body. Taking a deep breath, I tried to calm my nerves and get to work. The victim will receive photo on her own corpse, timestamp with the date of her death. A sculptured signature move, my calling card, if you will. Seeing an image of one of these disfigured corpses is sure to strike fear into one's heart. And the precise reason I take this step, to make the victim panic and act rashly. First thing first, I saved the victim photo to my laptop hard drive. I stored it in the folder described name, system file, hidden away in the root dictionary of my operating system, a password encrypted dictionary, of course. Next, I opened my favorite image editing software and loaded a photo. Looking carefully at the detail in the picture, I can see this will be a work of art. I can really go to town with this request. I minimize the software, open out my web browser, and access particular website. The database of this shit, the DD, as is now on the dark web. My secret weapon, the ultimate result for my work. The DD is collected. The DD is a collection of countless high-resolution photographs of dead body, murder victim, crime scene, suicide. If somebody has died in a way or another, chances are good that some perverted individual has captured the moment all in its gory. Such valuable math are essential to my work. Using this photo as the best, I can edit my victim detail into the picture. My process is simple. I start by locating the perfect corpse photo. I search the database, and in less than 2 minutes, I discover a distinctly detailed photo of a woman with her entire spilling from his stomach. Her face is blue, having suffocated before even having a chance to bleed dead. She's about the same age as my victim. She's of similar height and build. Finding a photo that specifically suits my victim filter is easy thanks to the excellent catalog of tag and flickr. I simply search for the keyword that match my victim description and find a corpse that fits. Using this photo as starting point, I digitally edit my victim face onto the body. It's not some quick job that even a child can do. It's a painstakingly crafted work of art that would fool even the nearest eyes. An hour passed, then 2, then 3. Before I know it, midnight has come and gone. But the work is near completion. All the remaining is to add the final touch. I like to add a specific distinguishable detail to image. Personal item or accessory, a cloth, makeup, you name it. I can edit in it. With the personal detail added, I adjust the lighting and the color palette, just slightly enough to make the photo truly unique. If the victim decides to reverse image, search the photo and discover that it is a forgery, and my work would be for nothing. And with that, the masterpiece is complete. A crisp, gristle, gratuitously gory gift for the soon to be depart. The victim will receive this photo of a corpse that is, for all intent and purpose, a perfect replica of her own physical form. She will open the image on her palm, and live and the life she once knew was crumbled to pieces. Past crawl into satisfied smooth. During my hour of work, my breathing eventually steadied, my excited nerves started in the zen like a charm. But seeing the finished art piece now, I began to feel my heart pounding once more. The macabre vision before me inexhaled adrenaline and dopamine surged through my body, giving me sudden heart rush of bliss. To say that I'm attracted to the sight of blood and guts would be misleading. No, I'm not into that at all. This night exits time was stem from the thought of taking control of somebody else's life, dictating their future, controlling their fate. For with the creation of image, I can take even the victim life into my own hand, like a puppet master, pulling the string of the marionette. By forging this confident creation, I will compel the victim to take her own life. That's right, my own hand need not have been stained at the pan of a corpse girl. Had never been disturbed with the blood of victim. This is the true nature of my work, carefully crafting corpse photo and such a way confident the victim that their fate is always sealed. That no matter what they do, they cannot escape the death that waits them. And the death stamp on the photo is itching on the cake. the ultimate driving force behind the victim choosing and their own life. And that's only in the future, a time that has not yet occurred. A fever on uncertainty carefully interwoven into the image that caused the victim to pause and consider the possibilities. Is this photo from the future? Is this truly my path? How can I outrun a future has been pre-decided? There's our talk to run through the victim minds. Despair and dread flood at the sense of running anxiety give him way to calm acceptance. That's my dead body. That's how I die. Why should I fight it? And when the victim last figures are arrested at gently pray, like a silk spider web being thrown by cool breeze, they finally giving in. They invited their end. This is why it will go down for this woman. This complete a total stranger. I'm confident, certain, confident. Hari-hari ternyata kita pembunuhnya. Agak kaget sih. Ini mengejutkan sekali sih. Aku lanjut aja ya. Kalau untuk visual novel ini kayaknya bakal sejam dah. Soalnya ini banyak banget, panjang banget ceritanya. Jadi aku bakal lanjut sejam kayaknya. It was the spark of inspiring that quite me to begin fabric cards photo about a year ago. I can never quite recall exactly what it was that spawned the idea. Sometimes I got close to remembering, but recollecting that at the edge of my mind and slipped back into the darkness. Regardless, I ventured down a dark and dangerous path. I built a obscure website and invited the strangers to request the death of people they knew. It was sales tactic, simply a way I encouraged users to submit a match. I had no intention or means of ending life. Little did I know that a true power I wielded. I only intended to create a corpse photo and send them people for fun. I wanted to start a starter and scare some unsuspecting fool. It would be a lie to claim that I didn't get off on it. The talk of people shrieking in fear at the sight of their own corpse was more than delicious. It says that my beating lost. It filled a dark hole in the depth of my soul and gave my purpose. Never in a million years did I dream that one of my corpse photo would result in that of another human being. I never forget her name, Ruri Hatano. A 20-something, slim, gurgles, eyes that took my breath away the moment I gazed upon her portrait. She was the first person to make me feel bad about crafting Hawk's photo, the only person to make me feel bad about it. But I did it anyway. Cops could never reject requests. As her, my confession. I forgot beautiful rendition of her death. Thanks for someone rather macabre source photo obtained via the database of dictation. I struggled the curls up in the field like a ghostly scarecrow. The photo was incredible, and it was my 5th or 6th work. The 5th or 6th time a user or obscure website requests a death. Ruri Hatano died just an hour after receiving the photo. I don't know why. I don't know if she killed herself or if someone murdered her. But I know one thing. Ruri Hatano's body, her real body, was found in the field, hanging like a scarecrow, surrounded by crows. Her eye had been gouged out of the skull, and her stiff finger had clutched her palm tightly. According to the news report, her palm displayed a family image, the very image I created of her corpse. When I first learned of Rory's death, I was overcome with varying emotion. I felt still, elated, disgusted, overjoyed, depressed, aroused. Had I somehow caused her death? Was a corpse responsible for taking a life? Even though my hand wouldn't stand up with the blood, I still felt responsible. A little truth descended upon me at the moment. Corpse Girl had the power to end life, and the more I dwelled on the fact, the more I obviously it became to me. I began to feel that power pulsing through my veins, throbbing in my blood as my heart pumping and pounded within my chest. I can explain how the power works, and I don't know why I have it. But somehow, the corpse photo I created can compel a victim to end their own life, or compel someone else to end it all for them. Really die in the way that I envisioned her dead body matched the fake corpse photo I painstakingly crafted. And I didn't even have to leave the safety and comfort of my apartment to ensure her death. Corpse girl power is real, extraordinary, and I vowed to exercise that power as frequently as possible. Oh, really had another days last year. Since then, I've been chasing that rush, that thrill, that come with snuffing out the soul. And it was hard to grow properly the Corpse Girl website after that incident. Particularly dark corner of the internet gobbled up the news with enthusiasm, and the site saw an influx of the new visitor. And a few occasions I've ever even overheard people in the real world whispering about the mysterious website that lets you request that. I cracked a photo of 4 dozen requests. Each photo is more convenient and realistic than the last, thanks to my ever-evolving skill. But none of my recent attempts has been successful. Not a single person has dropped dead since Rudy Hatano. I began to wonder if a corpse girl power has fizzled out. Or perhaps I never had any power to begin with. Maybe really that was a fluke, or Mowbray conceded. I've spent countless hours doubting myself, doubting a corpse girl. I've tried so hard to replicate that one success. Every time I receive a request, I do the same thing as I did in Rudy Hatano's case. I edited photo of the victim, I create confident corpse photo, and I timestamp it with the time of death. I send the photo to the victim, and then I leave the rest up to the fate. But nothing ever comes of it. I'm not so delusional to think that it's normal circumstance. A simple photo won't be enough to convince someone to kill themselves. And even if that photo fell into someone else's hand, it wouldn't inspire them to go out and kill the victim. Of course not. However, these are not ordinary circumstances. I once activated a power beyond the ken of mortal man. I considered her Tano to die by her own hand, or by hand of another. I need to find a way to manifest my power once more, to prove that I, the corpse girl, have the power of death and destruction at my fingertips. Once a new victim perishes, I know it will pave the way to more and more death. My website will gain popularity and become more than just an urban myth. People will live their life in fear, forever wondering if Corpse Girl is lurking behind the next text message they receive. Yes, I can see the future I craft so clear in my mind. I'm close to achieve my goal. I know I am. And when my dream comes true, I can final. What? Final what? Eh, aku lupa ini harusnya di the ancient scripts of birth gently, kindless to embarrass of my consonants. My heavy eyelid opened to find my body controlled before me, legs spread across the couch in the most uncomfortable position I can imagine. I ground the twist on my torso, letting my spine pop and crack until the arch in my body drift away. I need to stop falling asleep on the couch. I'm still young, but I can handle a night away from my comfortable bed. My eyes fall upon my open laptop lying on its side on the floor. The screen is blank, the battery is drained. I briefly panic, hoping against hope that I start my work before falling asleep. I slip up my feet and pick up the laptop, then charge toward the power outlet. I plug in and boot up, revitalizing and mechanical beats and feeling a wave of relief as the weird ring of the internal fans singing to breathe of life. The screen flicker and bathed my eyes it harsh light. My eyes squint again on my will and I make out the image before me. The mutilated curves of my latest victim. Perfection in picture form. The timestamp lower corner read my 27:11:7 a.m. Tomorrow dead. The photo is ready to be sent out. If I send it now, the victim will receive it immediately, notice the death, and realize that her death is a myth. It's time to set the wheel of the missile in motion. Leaving my laptop out the outlet, I could dart into the kitchen. Well, to call it the kitchen is misleading. A simple tiled area connected to my living space, with a small refrigerator, microwave oven, and a single hotplate. A small stack of drawers is nestled next to fridge, and I pull open the second drawer from the top. Plunging my hand inside is always an odd sensation. My finger get buried underneath of dozen cheap plastic flip phones. I grab one of the phone between my thumb and forefinger and remove it from the drawer. I scratch it up, pink model from 2010 or so, a relic from the time not all that long ago, but that might as well be forgotten. I flip the screen up and turn on the device on, relieved to see this artifact still hold power. To be fair, I changed up all this upon just a few weeks ago, but the fact they retain a charge after being inactive for so long is a testament to their engineering. In any shady line of work, this kind of photo are referred to as a burner. Cheap disposal devices that are discarded as soon as their purpose is fulfilled. Acquired them by rather unsavory men, but that neither here nor there. I use this phone to send out the photo I make. By doing this, I avoid using my personal phone and thus prevent anything from being traced back to me. When a photo has been sent, I keep the burner phone for 24 hours, just in case the victim sends a reply. I know I get good luck of that. Of course, I don't keep the phone on my person. I store it an old sheet at the back of my apartment building. When 24 hours have passed, I remove the pawn SIM card, snap in a hole, and discarded it with the combusted trash. The pawn itself gets smashed and trashed in the dumpster outside the convenience store. I also delete the photo of my hard drive and clear my internet history. Obviously, I don't even use my own internet connection at the home. I let off my gullible neighbor Wi-Fi. His other impression I can afford my own internet connection, whether or not I convince him of a suck is irrelevant. So he's happy to share his connection with me. Should the police even try to track my action, they'll only be led straight to my neighbor. I've gone the great length to ensure my actions are untraceable. This has all been anticipation of my inevitable success. Looking down at the pink pawn in my hand, I clear my mind and focus on the task before me. The photo is transferred easily from my laptop to burner phone. Once complete, I open the text messaging app and enter the victim phone number. I leave the message filled blank, but I attach the photo, of course. The victim will receive an empty text message from an unknown number, with only an image attached. The message is just about ready to send, but there's one more flourish I'd like to add. I open a particular app I previously downloaded to every burner phone. It's simply called Number Mask, and in one of the most ingenious app I ever used. The app asks for the number I want to use. I punch in my member's trademark 666333. Oh. Now when I send a text message, the receiver will see this number appear on the caller ID. Not only that, does it mask the burner real phone number, but it's an extra calling card to help boost my infamy. I smack my thumb hovering over the send message button. This is it. This is going to be my long-awaited victory. The second victim to the end of that. I just know it. This is the stepping stone to my success. The second of many bodies that will pave the way to my glory. I send a message. Kayaknya aku bakal save dulu sampai sini deh. Mana sih save? Oke. Jadi aku awalnya agak bingung dan sekarang aku baru ngerti bahwa kita jadi killernya. Jadi ini perspektif dari si killer. Makanya dia bilang 3 minggu yang lalu, 3 week ago gitu. 3 week ago. Aku agak heran sih, ini berarti artinya game untuk psikopat dong ya. Corpse Factory itu. Ya, entahlah. Aku ngerasa kayak gitu sih. Terus aku sih ngelihatnya di trailer dia kelihatan kayak stres, kayak ada yang ngincat dia, ada yang pingin dia itu mati juga gitu. Dan lewat dan ngirim lewat itu yang corpse girl itu. Cuman aku nggak tahu ternyata corpse girl-nya itu ternyata si tokoh utama sendiri, si Noriko. Well, it's make me surprised and speechless. Tapi aku baru tapi aneh juga karena bukan dia yang ngebunuh dan kita nggak tahu siapa yang ngebunuh. Itu katanya power. Kata dia punya kekuatan untuk ngebunuh orang gitu. Wah, itu ngebuat aku penasaran gimana kelanjutannya sih. Sekali lagi aku bakal bilang ini game bukan untuk kalian yang nggak suka gore. Jadi kalau misalnya kalian nggak kuat jangan ditonton. Ini kayaknya lebih ke psychological horror banget karena ini psikologi ya ibaratnya perspektifnya si pembunuh lah gitu. Ya begitulah. Ya kalau kalian pengen ikutin terus, aku bakal mainin ini sampai akhir dan aku bakal ituin sampai akhir juga. Jadi klik like ya kalau kalian suka, dislike ya kalau kalian nggak suka, dan share ke teman-teman kalian biar aku main semangat untuk main game ini baru. Dan sampai jumpa di episode selanjutnya. Bye bye.